In this video, you're going to learn some simple but powerful ways to add movement, emotion, and tension to the chords you play on guitar. Believe it or not, you don't need complex chords or a whole lot of chords to sound advanced and sophisticated. In today's video, I'm going to run you through a bunch of two-chord vamps that are very simple to play, but sound amazing. And that's going to be because of the types of chords we use. Great news is there's not a bar chord in sight. All the chords we use will be effectively open chords, but not as you know them. They won't be any harder to play than your standard open chords, but they're going to sound a whole lot better. Now, before we get into it, if you can like this video, I'd really appreciate it. It'll send it out there into the land of YouTube. If you like the content I release each week and you haven't already, I would love it if you could subscribe to the channel. And finally, in the description below this video, there's a link to an ebook with video examples all about getting started fingerpicking guitar. And some of the things we talk about and cover today will be in that book, plus a whole lot of other things. Basically, they're things that get you up and going and sounding great. None of the boring drills, exercises you often see. Just things that sound great straight off the bat. Okay, so let's get to it. So the first vamp we're going to have a look at here is going to be an A minor chord to a C major chord, okay? But we're going to use some more interesting voicings than just typical open chords. First off, we're going to play this A suspended 2 chord. Now, suspended chords aren't minor and they're not major. They're suspended. They get rid of the third, which is the difference between a minor and a major chord. So what that means is we can play suspended chords over a major tonality or a minor tonality. Okay, so in this case, it's over an A minor chord and it's an A suspended 2. Then I'm going to change to an A minor add 9. So it's not changing to the C yet. I'm going to make a change over the static A minor chord. That's part of the strategy here, or the method here today, is that we don't have to stay on the same chord voicing while someone's just strumming an A minor chord for a few bars. We can move between different voicings, and that creates beautiful movement in your progressions. So I'm going to do that with the A sus2 and the A minor add 9. When it comes to C, I'm going to play this beautiful C major 7 chord. Okay, it's like a power chord shape. I use my 1 and 4 a lot of the time. You can use 1 and 3, and including the open strings of G, B, which makes it the major 7 and the E on top. You don't have to understand the extensions here, just learn the shapes and listen to how beautiful they sound and really how easy they are to play. Of course, they take a bit of practice, but they're no harder to play than your open chords. So if I take that and I do something like this. Right, so I've got 1 bar on each chord. Half of the A minor, the bar of the A minor is the sus2. Second half is this A minor add 9, and then the full bar on the C. Right, so there's one way we could play A minor to C little chord vamp and make it sound really beautiful and more sophisticated than just standard open chords. Sticking here with the key of A minor, I'm going to play another vamp, but this time it'll be an A minor to D minor. So the first chord A minor I'm going to play up here, which is just a straight A minor chord using the open A string, some fretted notes, C and E, and then repeating the E on top. So when we play these open strings, sometimes we get this unison between notes, like unison notes, meaning the same note in the same octave. This being the fretted E and the open E, and you get that nice difference in the timbre or the timbre, however you want to say it, of the note, right? The tone of the note. So I'm doing that for my A minor and my D minor 9. This is a really beautiful chord. I love this one. This is just a simple, you could see it as a D suspended 2 chord moved up to the 5th position, open D string, open E on top, which makes it the minor 9, and the C and the F in between as fretted notes. So I could do a little pattern like this. Right, so just going from the A minor and the same pattern pretty much on the D minor 9 Okay, beautiful sound and a great way to arrange a simple little vamp A minor to D minor. So our third vamp, we're going to change key to C major and we're going to play a 1-chord C to a 4-chord F. Now for the C, I am going to use a standard C open chord. However, I'm going to also use that shape for the F. If we take open chords and move them up the fretboard, you can get some beautiful sounds. And in this case, I'm taking the C major shape and I'm moving it up until my ring finger rather is over and on the root F, and then I get some nice extensions to the sound. It gives me an F major 9 chord there. Again, you don't need to understand that, just know you can move the C up to the F position and get a beautiful sound. And I might do something like this. Right, just a little bit of a picking pattern there on the C. On the last half beat of the bar, I take my chord away, I get the open B string, and then come down on the F. That creates a little bit of interest over the C, and more importantly, or more the point, it gives me, when I play that open B, it gives me time to get my fingers up to the F position. Okay, now it is the same shape, so I shouldn't really, demonstrate that to you taking my fingers right off the fretboard, but it still gives us time to get and connect the chords fluently and smoothly. And it sounds nice, that B, because it's kind of more to do with the F chord. You could say it's anticipating the F chord there more than being part of the C chord. Either way, it's a nice sound and it makes the transition easier. So there's one way you can move from a 1 to a 4 chord, which is a very, very, very common chord combination in music using a C open chord shape. The fourth vamp is also a 1 to 4 chord change. However, we're going to change to the key of G here. So it's going to be a G to a C, okay? However, it's going to be, of course, different to just using the open chords. We're going to use this beautiful G major 7 chord. Now, much like I took the C chord up to make it F, I'm going to take this G major 7 shape, albeit just the 2 fingers there, my second and first, and move it up so it's C major 7. It just works out that if you take that shape as it is and move it up to, so that your second finger's over the C on the 8th fret, 6th string, and then you're playing your notes on top there with the same shape, you get a C major 7 chord, and you get this beautiful sound. G major 7, C major 7, and then I can play a little pattern. Alright, like that, so 2 bars on G major 7 and 2 bars on C major 7, right, for a beautiful sound. Notice that the previous example and this one were both 1 to 4 chord changes, but they sound very different, right? They got a very unique quality about them. Whereas if I was just using standard chords and I went 1 to 4 in the key of C, or I went 1 to 4 in the key of G, it's changed key, but it's kind of got the same sort of sound about it. Here we've got the C to the F we had, and in this example, G to the C major 7. We get all the beautiful colours and uniqueness of the open strings resonating against the fretted notes. So there's another way to play a 1 to 4 chord change, which again is just so common in music. And our last vamp here today is going to be in the key of E minor. So I'm going to use an E minor to 1 chord, E minor, to the 7 chord D major. Okay, so I'm going to use this shape up here, which you can kind of see is the framework to the root 5 bar chord, but I'm not barring. I'm taking my first, third and second fingers and putting them on their fingertips, and then I can use the open strings in between. Big, beautiful, open E minor sounding chord, and that is all it is. It's all E, G and B notes, so it's E minor. And then for D major, I'm going to play a D add 9 chord, which I get here. Open D, we get a D and F sharp, the root and the third, and the E makes it the add 9 on top. Okay, so E minor, D add 9. And I can put a little bit of a pattern to it like this. Right, so I'm just playing up the E minor and a similar pattern on the D at 9. Okay, for a really beautiful sound, other than just, you know, playing your standard chords again. So all these examples, I want you to learn them, I want you to vary them, add your own ideas, try them in different contexts, try them in relation to other things. Just turn them upside down and see what you can do with them. You'll find a lot of stuff and it will be really cool. And you'll see just how expansive this instrument can be harmonically speaking when we step outside of open chords, bar chords. Again, nothing wrong with open chords and bar chords. I use them every day, but if that's all there was, it'd be pretty limiting. So hopefully you get some really cool ideas that you can implement in your own playing from our video today. If you liked this video, you'll love this ebook complete with video examples called Quick Start Fingerpicking, 5 simple ways to sound great fast. If you're new to fingerpicking or have tried before but feel stuck, you're just 5 simple hacks away from creating beautiful fingerpicking music. Inside this ebook, you'll find proven techniques designed for beginners that deliver almost instant results. Forget the complicated exercises and boring practice drills. These fingerpicking hacks will help you play music that sounds rich, advanced, and downright impressive from day one. Click the link in the description below this video and download your free ebook complete with video examples, Quick Start Fingerpicking, 5 simple ways to sound great fast. You'll have it in your inbox within minutes. Let me know in the comments what acoustic guitar topics you'd like to see in future videos. I always love to hear from people and their suggestions. I read them and a lot of them do become future videos on the channel. So don't be shy, drop us a line, let us know what you'd like to see. If you like this video, then hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and of course hit the all important notification bell button so YouTube can tell you when I've released a new video. This is Simon Candy from acousticguitarlessonsonline.net. As always, thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video. I really do appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.